This video explains how to find critical numbers of a function and how to find absolute extrema of f on a closed interval AB. What is critical number? Critical number is an x value where the function f of x is defined and the first derivative f prime x is either 0 or just like undefined. So C in this picture, C is a critical number. How to find critical numbers? Well, first step is first find the derivative of the given function. If f prime is not rational, then set f prime x equal to 0 and solve the equation. If prime x is a rational function, then set the numerator of f prime equal to 0 and set the denominator of prime x 0 and then solve both equations for x separately. Discard those values of x obtained in step 2 for which f of x is undefined, and the x value for which f of x is defined are our critical numbers. So let's do an example. Example 1. We're going to find the critical numbers of the function f of x equal to 4x squared minus 6x. So the first step is we write f of x equal to 4x squared minus 6x and then differentiate with respect to x. Well, f of x becomes f prime x, and then 4 times 2, 8x, and the derivative of 6x is 6. So we have f prime x equal to 8x minus 6. Now we set f prime x to 0, which means we set 8x minus 6 equal to 0. Now we're going to solve for x. So in order to solve for x, we can move minus 6 to the right and it becomes 6. And now we divide 6 by 8. So x equal to 6, 8, simplify to 3/4. So the critical number is C equals to 3/4. So example 2, find the critical numbers of the function f of x equals to x times the square root of 4 minus x, where x is less than 3. So let's start with f of x equal to x times the square root of 4 minus x. So let's rewrite the radical in exponential form. So the f of x becomes x times 4 minus x to the power 1/2. So since this is a product, so we're going to differentiate using product rule. So f of x becomes f prime x, bring the x down and differentiate 4 minus x to the 1/2 plus. Now write 4 minus x to the 1/2 and the multiply with the derivative of the x. Now we're going to apply the chain rule here. So let's bring down x and then differentiate this one. So using the chain rule, bring the power down and rewrite 4 minus x and subtract 1 from 1/2. But outside you multiply by the derivative of inner function 4 minus x plus 4 minus x to the 1/2 and the derivative of x is just 1. So now we simplify. So this becomes x times 1/2, and 1/2 power minus 1 is negative 1/2. So you have 4 minus x to the negative 1/2. Now the derivative of 4 is 0 and the derivative of x is what? 1. And here 4 minus x to the 1/2 times 1 is simply 4 minus x to the 1/2. So we have found f prime x equal to negative x over 2 times 4 minus x to the 1/2 plus 4 minus x to the 1/2. Now we have to add these two. But in order to add, since this is a fraction, this is a whole number, so we have to convert this into a fraction with same denominator as this one. So how will we do that? We multiply top and bottom of this one like this. So let's bring it down, this one, negative x over 2 times 4 minus x to the 1 half plus. So now we multiply 4 minus x to the 1 half with 2 times 4 minus x to the 1 half, top and bottom. Now we can multiply further, then we become 2 times 4 minus x to the 1 half plus 1 half is 1. And then divide by 4 minus x to the 1 half. We just bring down as it is, negative x over 2 times 4 minus x to the 1 half. Now we have same denominators. We call this like fraction. So we write the denominator once, 2 times 4 minus x to the 1 half, and add the numerators, minus x plus 8, 2 times 8 minus 2 times x. So we simplify it, it gives you negative x and minus 12 to the minus 3x plus 8 over 2 times 4 minus x to the 1 half. So now we can set the numerator to 0 and solve for x. So minus 3x plus 8 equals 0. We can move 8 to the right. It becomes negative 8 and divide by negative 3. So the x is isolated and we have on the right side minus 8 over 3, which means 8 thirds. So once we found x is equal to 8 thirds by setting the numerator to 0, now we set the denominator to 0. So 2 times 4 minus x to the 1 half equal to 0. Divide by 2, we're left with 4 minus x to the 1 half equal to 0. Now square each side. So when you square this one, it becomes 1 half times 2 will become 1. So it'll be 4 minus x. Or you can say when you square a radical disappears, you get 4 minus x. Now we can take the minus x to the right to become 4 is equal to x, or you can say x equals to 4. So now we have two values, 8 thirds and 4. And now since the domain is function domain, is x less than 3, so the numbers which is less than 3, that is the critical number. Now you can see 4 is bigger than 3, so 4 is not a critical number. But 8 thirds is less than 3, so it is a critical value. So the only critical value is 8 thirds. So absolute maximum. A function f with domain D has absolute or global maximum value on D at point C if f of x is less than or equal to f of c for all x values in the domain D. Absolute minimum function f with domain D has an absolute or global minimum value on the D at the point C if f of x is bigger than or equal to f of c for all x's in what? D. So we're going to find the absolute extrema. In other words, we're going to find the absolute maximum or absolute minimum. Well, first step is find all the critical values of f on the interval, open interval AB. Then evaluate f at all critical values in AB. Evaluate f at each endpoints of AB. The minimum is the smallest and maximum the largest value of f values obtained in step 2 and step 3. So let's do example 3. We're going to find the absolute extrema. So we have a function f of x equal to 3 times x to the 4 minus 4x cubed. And the interval is negative 1 to 2. So let's write down f of x equal to 3x 4 minus 4x cubed. Now we differentiate with respect to x. So f of x becomes f prime x. And 3 times 4, 12. And subtract 1 from 4, so you get 12x cubed. Similarly, multiply 4 times 3, and then subtract 1 from 3 becomes x squared. So the first derivative is 12x cubed minus 12x squared. Now we set f prime x to 0. So we have a 12x cubed minus 12x squared equal to 0. So we'll solve for x. Well, looks like we can factor 12x squared and these three x minus 1 equal to 0. Let's set each factor to 0. But 12x squared equals 0, then x squared equals 0, and then x is what? 0. Similarly, set x minus 1 to 0 and solve, then x equal to what? 1. So we have found two critical values, 0 and 1. So now we we decide which one of 0 and 1 are critical numbers. So 0 is in interval, so we can say 0 is critical number. And 1 is also in interval, so 1 is also critical number. So both 0 and 1 are critical numbers. So now we set up table for values of x and function f of x. So here we write x, and then we can start with the left hand point, -1, and the critical number, and the critical number, and the right hand point. Now at each of x values, we find the function value. So let's write down f of x equal to 3x4 minus 4x cubed. So let's substitute -1 in this one. So this becomes -1 equals 3 times -1 to the power 4 minus 4 times -1 cubed. Now when you raise even power, the number becomes positive. So you have a 3 times 1. But it's the odd power, it becomes negative. So we -4 times -1. Now 3 times 1 is 3, -4 times 1, -1 is 4. Now 3 plus 4 is 7. Now we substitute 0, f of 0. So 3 times 0 is 4 minus 4 times 0 cubed. And you know, 4, this becomes 0 to the power 4 is 0. So it becomes 3 0. 3 times 0. And 0 cube is also 0. So 4 times 0. Now 3 times 0 is 0, 4 times 0, so we get 0. Now we substitute 1 in this function, so because f of 1 equals 3 times 1 to the 4 minus 4 times 1 cube. 1 to the power 4 is just 1, so 3 times 1 minus 4 times 1 cube is 1. Now 3 times 1 is 3 and 4 times 1 is 4, and 3 minus 4 is what? -1. Now we substitute 2, so we got f of 2 equals to 3 times 2 to the 4 minus 4 times 2 cube equals 3 times 16 and minus 4 times 8, and then becomes 48. So 16 times 3 is 48, and minus 4 times 8 is 32. So 48 minus 32 is -16. Okay, and now we look for the smallest value. Well, -1 is smallest. And this we got when x is 1. So we can write absolute minimum. X value is 1 and y value is -1. Now the largest value is 16. So, and this is when x is 2. So the absolute maximum is 2, 16.